Hi and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be creating a token refresh resource that, given the refresh token we created initially, will give us a non-fresh access token. Let's go ahead into our user resource and start creating that. So we're going to go down to the very bottom of this resource and add a new one here. And by the way, I'm adding all these small resources related to users inside my user.py file. But you can add them wherever you want. If you want to split them out into multiple files, you can do that. But because they're quite small, and because we always can, shrink them like that, I'm adding them in the same file. And 67 lines, 100 lines is not a lot for a file. All right, so now that we are here, let's go ahead and create our token refresh resource. What this is going to do is it is going to receive the refresh token we created initially. So I'm going to expand the user login resource and see here, remember how initially we created refresh token that we give to our users, as well as the access token, which is the main JWT. This refresh token is never going to change. So all they have to do is send it to this token refresh resource, and we are going to generate a new access token, but it's not going to be fresh. Fresh is going to be false. So I'm pretty sure you'll be able to do most of this, except for one little thing that we've not talked about yet. Oh, sorry, I expanded that by accident. One little thing we've not talked about yet, which is the JWT refresh token required. This is a new decorator that we're going to have to import. So I'm just going to copy that and go up to the top of the file and get it from here. So what we need to do is, in this method here, we will be receiving a refresh token. Now, if we call this method and we don't have a refresh token in the request, Flask-JWT-Extended is not going to bring us in here. It's going to return an error. It's going to say, 401, you didn't authenticate properly. You need to send more data. So by the time we are running this line 70 here, we have a refresh token. And because we have a refresh token, that means we can use it to get the JWT identity. So we can say current user is get JWT identity. Now, we imported this on the item resource earlier, but we didn't import it in the user resource. So let's go ahead and do that. And because this is getting quite long, we are going to use the bracket notation in Python to import multiple packages from the same module. Like that, it's totally fine. You cannot ignore the brackets in here. You need the brackets to be able to import in multiple lines. But this looks a little bit tidier there. And we've imported get JWT identity. And you can see that get JWT identity works with a refresh token as well as with an access token. So we have a refresh token here, but we can use it to get the JWT identity, which, as you know, is the user ID. Then we're going to create a new token that is going to be create access token. The identity is going to be the current user, and fresh is going to be false. The access token we are going to give back is not going to be fresh. Now, that means that they're probably going to save it, they're going to send it back in the next request, and we will be able to check whether it is fresh or not. If it's fresh, just as a reminder, it means that they have just given us their username and password. We can be really confident that they are who they say they are. If it's not fresh, it means that maybe they typed the username and password a couple of days ago. So maybe they've lost their device, their mobile phone or their laptop, and they are not who they say they are. So for example, if they wanted to change their password and they have a non-fresh token, we may ask them for a fresh token instead. We may ask them to enter the username and password. That way we just ensure a bit more security, but we don't have to keep asking them passwords if all they want to do is, see their contacts or maybe look at their feeds in Instagram or Facebook or something like that. So now that we've got our new token created, we can just go ahead and return it. So we're going to return access token is the new token that we've created. And you can put the 200 in there. Don't need to put it in. That's a default value that's going to be returned. But nonetheless, it's always good to be explicit with these things. That's it. Now we've got this saved. we can go ahead and add it to our app.py. So I'm going to double click that and open app.py. And from resources.user, we're going to import user register, user login, and now token refresh as well. Here, if you want, you can also put this in multiple lines if that makes you feel better, but I think it's quite short for now, so I'm going to leave it in one line just yet, and we can move it into more lines later on if we have to. Now that we've imported it, we can go ahead and add it as a resource down here. So we're going to do API.add resource, and it's going to be the token refresh, and this endpoint is going to be the /refresh endpoint. That's it. Now we can go over to Postman and try this out and see if it works. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and launch the app.py. So for that, I'm going to have to, of course, open up my virtual environment and then do Python app.py. That's my app now running. We can go over to Postman, and of course we'll have to register. That's the first thing to do. I'm going to create a new user. The user here is user2 abcxyz. Doesn't really matter what it is. Then we're going to have to go and log in. Just make sure that the user and the password match there. Now we've got our access token saved into our collection, but our tests are not saving the refresh token. So you know how to add a test to save the refresh token. It's the same as the access token. But for now, we're just going to copy it and do this manually. Now that we've got this refresh token, we can go ahead and create a new endpoint that is going to do URL/refresh. It's going to be a post. Did I actually call it a get? Did I call it a get? No, I called it a post. That's okay. My bad. Just couldn't remember if I misspelled that. This is going to be a post because it has to receive data in the body. So we're going to go ahead in the body, in the headers, not in the body, and do authorization. And this is going to be bearer and then our refresh token. Remember, this is not the access token. This is the refresh token that we've just copied from the result of the login endpoint. And then we can send this over and we get a new access token. We can just pick a few characters, IJ9 for example, and maybe it's the same one. Yeah, there we go. Let's pick the last ones. This is always the same. So Rax, PT, and I, and at the end you can see they're a little bit different down there. So this is a completely different access token. It contains the same data, and a lot of it is quite similar, but some of these things are a bit different, and you can tell that it's a different access token by that. You can use this access token as you would any other access token, but in the endpoints that require a fresh access token, you won't be able to use this one. You'll have to use a fresh token, i.e. you must have just logged in and used that token and not any other. We're going to look at how you can require a fresh access token in the very next video. So I'll see you there.